Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio NBA Closing Time Show. Friday, May 14th, Ian Cameron, Connor Mack, and Skee Profit ready to break down a Friday NBA card, at least to the best of our ability. Break down this crap-ass NBA card. I got to come right out and say it. It's a tough card. You know, it's late in the season, couple days left in the regular season. A lot of spots have been locked up. Teams out of the playoffs, resting everybody, not knowing who's in the lineup, not knowing where the motivation comes from. It's a tricky card, but we'll do our best to lead you down the right winning path tonight. We'll start with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Washington Wizards. Washington, 9-point home favorites here, 226.5 the total in this one. The Wizards, of course, still looking to cement their position in the Eastern Conference play-in tournament, and they still have work to do. They've just got to win one of their last two games, and the Bulls have to win out. That's the only way Washington can get beaten by Chicago for that final spot. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Washington ends it tonight, gets it done. I would lean a little to them. The money's come in on the Wizards. Even without Bradley Beal, they're more than capable of still taking care of business against Cleveland, even though the Cavs shockingly, and I mean shockingly, beat Boston outright as underdogs the other night. I still think Washington takes care of business, but I like the over. This is actually not, I don't like a lot tonight on this card, but I legitimately like the over. Washington has to push. Washington has to score. We know they play fast. We know Cleveland's not playing any defense whatsoever at this point in time. So I'm looking at this as a situation where I think we're going to see points here in this game both ways. And the one thing Cleveland can do, especially with a Sexton and a Garland on the floor, is still be able to score some points here in this game. So I like the over. Skee, what do you think here, Cleveland, Washington?
I could get there, I guess, with an over. The way Washington plays, you know, they're going to be up and down the court, pretty up tempo. Neither team really great defensively as of late. You know, as far as the side goes, it's pretty clear cut for me. Never, ever back Cleveland on the road. That's how I feel. 9-22 as a road dog. I'm not putting my money there. So it'll be Washington or nothing. And I could get to a lean with the over.
All right, Connor, anything for you, Cavs, Wizards?
Yeah, I think you can get over as well. Yeah, no way with the Cavs. I mean, they caught one at home, but on the road, no way. And I'd look toward the Wizards' first half. I think there's a bunch of games because I wouldn't want to get kind of backdoored at the end of the game. I think there's a few today where if you're going to play, maybe look towards the first half. So I like the Wizards a little bit first half. I'm sure they cover full game, but I'd be a little bit, they get out, get a big lead. Then kind of hold on the rest of the game. So I agree. Lean towards this over, and Wizards first half a little bit better than full game.
All right, we got Denver, Detroit. Denver 8.5-point road favorites. Detroit 216.5 the total in this game. This is another tricky one. You've got Denver back-to-back for them. I mean, they're still technically alive to catch the Clippers, I believe, for third, but is it that big of a deal? Do they really care that much about just one seed when it's not a make or break? It's not like they're going from no home court to home court if they move up a position. So I don't know. And there's hints that Mike Malone might rest a couple guys tonight as well. That was what he was saying all along going into this game with the back-to-back situation. So I don't know if we're going to have a full lineup for the Nuggets. That would make me reluctant to lay this many on the road on a back-to-back. But there's no freaking way I'm taking Detroit. There's just no way. They've waved the white flag. Who the hell knows who's going to be in? It's everybody out, including Jeremy Grant, among many others. It's a patchwork Detroit team. They haven't been competitive lately. This is just a game I want no part of. Easy pass. Skee, what do you think? Denver, Detroit.
Yeah, I was talking to Ian before the show, and I just said, like, this week or this NBA right now is kind of like NFL Week 17. Like,
yeah,
it's not a lot going on to really love. But in this one, if I had to play, I don't think Detroit's offense is very good. You mentioned those guys who are going to be out for them. If anything, I trust their defense more. They're playing at a slower pace. Denver, I don't think they have a point guard today. And so probably playing the offense through Jokic makes them even more slow. So I lean towards under in this game. That's probably the way I'd play it if I was getting involved. And if I like Denver, I would only take them first half because it seems like they can cover first half and don't cover full games.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely feels like Detroit's had a tough time finding the basket as well lately. So the under definitely getting hit as well. You're not alone there. The under's taking a lot of money. Connor, what do you think here? Nuggets, Pistons.
Yeah, the under's getting hit. It's starting to go down a little further. I have been on the Detroit's last two unders. I think this one's right about there. I don't know if I'll get there to bet it, but I lean the Nuggets as well. Everyone's sitting. It seems like who's going to play, and then it's just nobody on Detroit. I mean, everyone's out. It's just a G League roster, so it's a total pass for me. And it'd be Skee, like Skee mentioned. I mentioned earlier, a lot of these games. If you like the Nuggets, probably early. If you think they can get out, we'll stretch the lead maybe the first half here.
All right. Next up, we've got Utah, Oklahoma City. The Jazz, 14.5-point road favorites, 220.5 the total. I hate to give you guys nothing, but I'm going to be boring and dull and uninteresting again here. I got nothing here. I'm not laying 14.5 with Utah, Suns, Conley, and Mitchell and their entire backcourt on the road where they've been sketchy. But there's no way I'm endorsing this G League Thunder roster, which has been disastrous for weeks on end, that has won 2 games in their last 2-25 straight up is what we're talking about with Oklahoma in their last 27 games. That is beyond bad. And there's no way I can back them getting any amount of points. So this is a clear stay. I know Utah still has work left to be done after Phoenix beat Portland last night to clinch the number 1 seed, but they're okay with winning this game by any margin. Doesn't necessarily have to be 15. I can't lay this many, but I can't take OKC. Pass. What do you think, Skee?
I prefer to play a prop in this game. I know OKC has kind of struggled to score as of late. Utah, I'll look at it like this. Lou Dort is out. When he's not out, I feel like Darius Bazley's usage is a lot higher. And he's gone over 25.5 points, rebounds, assists, 5 of his last 6 games. The last 2 were without Dort. He got closer to the 30 mark. So I think he can do it again today, even though like OKC is, I think they struggle to hit 100 5 out of 6 games, or maybe it's just 5 out of 6 under, something like that. Even in that, Bazley gets his. So that's who I'm betting on tonight, over 25.5 points, rebounds, assists.
All right. Someone's got to score for OKC with everybody out. So maybe it's Bazley, and according to Skee Profit tonight, looking over that points prop for him. Conor, what do you think, Utah, OKC?
Yeah, you can't back the Thunder here. I think it's all Utah. I don't love laying it the full game. I'd be more first half here. They get out, start pounding them. If I were to bet it, I'd take Utah first half, right around -8 in this one. And maybe look, in some of these games we talked about, Skee just mentioned, maybe look at some props. If you're really looking to bet NBA today, not that, there's not a ton to love. Maybe get on some guys you can find an angle on some of these props.
All right, Orlando, Philadelphia. We got Philly 14-point home favorites, 214 the total. Of course, the Sixers looking to clinch the 1 seed in the East, looking to do so after a disappointing setback against Miami last night. But they're not playing Miami tonight. They're playing this Orlando team, which looks like they're tanking, ready for the draft lottery, ready for the season to end at this point. I don't know if I want to lay a full 14. Philly's been a little bit hit or miss as big, double-digit home favorites. Actually, they've been good at sometimes, not so good at others. I think they could cover the 14, but I'd prefer to look at them early in this game rather than late. I think first quarter with Philadelphia, first half with Philadelphia are bets that I'll be placing here in this game. Joel Embiid, too, was not well earlier this week, battling an illness, didn't play earlier this week, came back against Miami last night and didn't play well. You could tell he was battling something, not feeling 100%, not physically 100%. Doc Rivers talked about it. I think he'll probably be better tonight having a game under his belt, but for that reason, even more that I like the first quarter and the first half. If Embiid is ailing a little bit and they get up big by 20 or 25 in the third quarter or fourth quarter, they're going to take him off the floor, rest him, keep him ready for the playoffs. So that's even more reason and incentive in my mind that I think if you like the Sixers, looking at them earlier in the game, first quarter, first half might be the better option. Skee, what do you think here with the Magic and the Sixers?
I agree with you. I'd say get in and get out. I already said I like to fade these teams that have lost 5 or more games in a row. If you've done so all season, you're winning at 57.9%. So I understand wanting to look full game, but I just think after that beatdown that they took, they come out early. And I'll support my boy, Dutch Boy. He said he likes the first quarter, fading Orlando and back in Philly. I tend to agree with that too. So both of you guys on it, I'm on it too. I like Philly first quarter and first half.
Dutch Boy, very good with NBA, no question. So he's liking Philly first quarter early. And that's the angle that makes sense to me early. First quarter, first half, get it done. You get this number 1 seed done, and then you can rest some of your guys later in the game. Conor, what do you think here? Magic, Sixers?
I love it. I think you guys are on the right angle here. They got to get this thing sewn up. First quarter, first half. Maybe with beat out. I like Harris over 16.5 points here, minus 105. I think he'll get it some good points tonight. I think he can get over that. So that's it. Man, I got all these first halves that don't love these games. I may have to do a parlay. I'm not a parlay guy. But NBA first half parlay today, maybe. First half with all these games.
Yeah, no doubt, no question about that. We got the LA Clippers, Houston Rockets. Clippers now down from 11.5-point road favorites just to 8.5 now across the board. 225 the total. I did the another show earlier today with big man Jeff Nadu and about NBA, and I said at that time, if you like Houston, bet them now, because I think there's going to be some Clippers out of this game tonight in against the Rockets, and I think that's exactly what we're going to end up seeing here with Kawhi, George. I think some others questionable may not play, and it's looking more and more like there's going to be guys rested for Ty Lue and the Clippers tonight. And look, the Rockets have covered 4 straight, and they've actually been competitive. Hell, they almost took down the Skee Profits Lakers the other night, took them right down to the wire. It was a great spot for Houston. I mean, the Lakers were coming off the Nick win in overtime the night before, and I think Houston took advantage of that. But still, Houston's scoring. They're not playing a lick of defense, but their offense has been actually pretty good. They've been putting the ball in the basket. I think that continues tonight. And look, I don't care that the Clippers are without some of their best players. I think Skee, Conor, Mack, Jeff Slaughter, and a Pub Sports Radio Hall of Fame all-star crew could put up some points against this Houston Rockets team right now. So I think the Clippers are going to be able to score tonight against the Rockets, even with some guys out. So I like the over, and I don't think you have a bad bet on your hands either if you already took Houston plus the points. What do you think, Skee? Clippers, Rockets?
Yeah, a lot of guys missing, Kawhi, PG, etc. And I understand. Still not a great spot for the Rockets. Not that I'm thrilled to go bet the Clippers, but I'll say this. It's a flat spot coming home off the long road trip, and another one of those teams that have lost 5 or more in a row. And if you combine both of those angles together and look at the last 9, those teams are 1-8 against the spread. So I would lean towards Clippers, but I'm more so like propping this one. It's not out yet, so I don't have an exact number, but just looking to fade Houston on the boards. 3rd worst rebounding team over the last 5. They have Kelly Olynyk at center, and I have nothing against him, but I just don't think he's a great rebounder. Zubac, his rebound is, if it's at 7, I'll be interested. He played Houston twice. He had 23 minutes in both, and he had 7 and 8 rebounds. So if he gets a little bit more, like closer to his 30-minute mark, I think that's an easy casher. So I'll be on the lookout for Zubac if his rebound prop is 7.
Yeah, Ivica Zubac's definitely a guy that can, when he plays well, I think the Clippers play well. He's had some really good games, and they seem to play better when he does. We'll see if he makes an impact here tonight. Connor, what do you think here, Clippers and Rockets?
Yeah, the number's already gone if you like the Rockets at 8.5. Even the Clippers with both guys out, George and Kawhi, Clippers could still maybe cover this. I'm not going to be betting it. I lean a little bit over with those guys out. The defense probably won't be there. Clippers been an under team for me, especially lately. When all their guys are in, they can play pretty good defense. But with the Rockets, they've just been giving up points. We saw it in the Laker game, and I could see more in this one. I'm leaning over here, 225 as well.
All right, we got the Sacramento Kings and the Memphis Grizzlies here. This is the biggest pass you can imagine for me. Memphis 3.5-point home favorites, 224 the total in this one. Sacramento is out, obviously, eliminated just a couple of days ago. I'm not going to guess whether they give 2 shits about this game tonight and get involved financially, trying to wonder what Sacramento's mindset is tonight for this game. So I would not at all be interested in Sacramento here in this game. But at the same point in time, there's a reason why Memphis is now only 3.5 after they opened 8. I don't think anybody of consequence is playing tonight other than maybe Winslow and Bain for Memphis. I mean, you got no Allen, Grayson Allen, no Kyle Anderson, no Dylan Brooks, no Brandon Clark, no Jaren Jackson, no John Morant, no Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, they're pretty much sitting everybody tonight, this Memphis team. So I can't lay points with them. Pass. Skee, what do you think?
Yeah, we could play hot potato. I want to pass it too. But if I have to say a play on this game, I'll go like neither team cares. Sacramento is not going to make the playoffs. Memphis, I think the game that they care about is the next one versus Golden State. And it's reflected in who's out there on the floor. So I don't see very much scoring. Both teams, anyway, the last 5 games, top 10 defensive rated. So I'll go with an under.
All right, like in the under. Yeah, it could be one of these drabby, boring, dull games. Both teams just wanting to play and to get it over with. Connor, what do you think here, Sacramento, Memphis?
Yeah, it could go under with all these guys not playing. I'm with you, Ian. So just pass. I want nothing to do with it. I mean, if I had to throw it, I'd take the Kings plus 3.5. That's just because I'm grabbing points with them. But but they're out of it. I don't think they have a lot to play for. But I'd rather be taking a few with the Kings than laying it with a Memphis team who's not playing anybody tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough one to get involved, no doubt. Toronto and Dallas. I am involved in this one, actually. Dallas 14.5 point home favorites, 219.5 the total in this game. Here's what you got for Toronto and what you've had the last couple games. Malachi Flynn, Gary Trent, Stanley Johnson, Chris Boucher, Kem Birch, your starting 5. Yeah. And very little bench and very little depth behind these guys. Not good. If you're the Toronto Raptors, and it's shown after officially getting bounced from the playoffs, double-digit loss to Memphis, blown out by the Clippers, blown out by Chicago last night by 12 against a Bulls team that's pretty flighty, and you still lost by 12. And now you got to go on the road, second night of back-to-back games with very little depth, no bench. These guys are worn into the court at this point, not used to all these minutes. And now you got to play a Dallas team that I think still trying to lock in their seeding going into this game tonight, and a Dallas team that's actually playing pretty well. They're getting red hot, right ahead of the playoffs now. 5 wins in their last 6. They crushed the Pelicans 125-107 by 18 the other night. If they're crushing the Pelicans by 18, I think they could achieve a similar margin of victory tonight against this Raptors team. I'm on the Raptors 3 ways. I've got the smallest bet of the 3 for me is the full game minus 14. I actually got it at 13. It's 14 now. I've got more, though, on the first quarter and the first half with the Dallas Mavericks, plus a little on the full game. I just think they roll. And I think Toronto is basically, they're rolling over and kind of playing dead, kind of throwing in the white, throwing in the towel, waving the white flag. I think that's exactly what we're seeing here with the Raptors. And look, second night of back-to-backs on the road is for a team with no depth. They have no bench anymore. Remember, they had one of the best depth in the NBA last year, 2 years ago. Now they have absolutely no depth and no bench. So could be a long night. Could be Smackdown City for the Dallas Mavericks here tonight. Skee, what do you think? Toronto, Dallas.
Yep. 1, 2, 3 Cancun for Toronto. They're not interested. They're mentally not even there. The guys were game time decision. They're all out. Lowry, Siakam, et cetera, et cetera. Raptors, another team that's lost 5 or more in a row. So I want to fade them. But I'm going to specifically fade them on the first half. And I'll just look at the last 3 for both teams. The first half margin, minus 9.3 for Toronto, plus 9 for Dallas. Just teams going opposite directions right now. Dallas is covered 8 of the last 11 first halves. Give me Dallas minus 8.5 on the first half.
Yeah, that's the one. I think that's the best of the bunch right there. Dallas first half. I like first quarter too, but first half as well. Yeah, the big 4 are out. I mean, Anunoby, Lowry, Siakam, Van Vliet. Without those 4 guys, we know it's been rough for the Raptors. C-Mac, what do you think? Raps and Mavs.
Yeah, without not even one of those guys, with all of them out, they just don't give a shit. I mean, it's just they're horrible. And on the back-to-back, getting pounded last night. I just see them going through the motions. I'm with you. At Dallas the other night, first half, Skee, I know you were on it. I was on it. I think more of the same. I think they roll here. I'd be leery full game. I still think they cover probably the 4. But when you start getting like 15, 16, right in that range, the NBA, there's always that backdoor. You're up by 19, and all of a sudden they can score some junk buckets and not cover. So I look more first half. What's your first half today?
Yeah, that's the way it is. That's what it's got to be.
That's the way it's going. Yep.
Because you could get the starters rested with a huge lead, especially with the playoffs looming. So that's why you've got to, I think, look to more, especially with favorites, more toward first quarter, first half in these last few games of the regular season. There's definitely a reason, I think, behind the fact we all like these teams more in the first quarter and first half tonight, like a Toronto, like a Philadelphia, like teams like that, Utah even. So you like them and prefer them maybe in the first half tonight. New Orleans and Golden State now, final game of this Friday slate. We've got Golden State open 5.5. point home favorites. Now they're pretty much pick them across the board. The total down from 230.5 to 221.5, and it's because of everybody sitting for Golden State, everybody that's pertinent at the very least. Curry out, Draymond Green out, Damian Lee out, Kelly Oubre out, Aaron Wiggins out. It is Andrew Wiggins, I should say, out for the Golden State Warriors. It is just an absolute, mash unit tonight for Golden State. So it tells you that they're not really taking the game all that seriously. Most of the minutes are going to be Jordan Poole, Kent, who actually played great last game for Golden State, Kent Bazemore, Eric Paschall, Kayvon Looney, Nico Mannion. That's what you're looking at for Golden State. So I can't take Golden State now, but I was never interested in taking New Orleans in this game. They got drilled by Dallas the other night. They're out. It's a disappointing season, eliminated from the playoffs. This team felt they were at least a team that should have been in the play-in at least. They didn't even get there. The disappointment is very real, I'm sure. They just want to get it over with. So this is a game sidewise. I'm out of it. People betting the under, they're probably onto it because there's so much offense off the floor now for the Warriors in this game. So maybe the under, but it's already been hit. Pass for me otherwise. Skee, take it away here. Pelicans, Warriors.
Yeah, I talked about Memphis not caring. Golden State doesn't care either. These teams will play each other, and that game has much more significance. Nobody's even in the lineup in this one. So without Steph Curry, without Draymond, I think Golden State's offense is trash. And no Ingram. I mean, Ingram's game time decision, but he could potentially not play. No Zion. Lonzo is one of the better shooters on their team as well. So too many points missing for me. And both teams top 10 defensive rated teams anyway over the last 5 games. So I lean under in this one.
All right, liking that under move, and definitely it's been hit. 9 points down, 230.5 to 221 is where 221.5 is where this is. So 9 points move toward the under here. 9-point move. Conor, what do you think here? New Orleans, Golden State.
Huge move already towards the under, but no one's playing. Like Skee, you just mentioned, Zion, Lonzo have been out. Ingram and Adams are questionable. I mean, Steph, all these guys, I don't think they play. They say they're questionable, but I don't think they are. So yeah, totally off here for me. And the line's moved way too much towards the under, so totally off here.
All right, we will get to best. That's the NBA card, at least for this Friday. We'll get to best bets in just a second, but we got to mention it, especially with Skee here. It is the season opener, if you will, opening night in the WNBA season. Skee, I know you're great with WNBA. You want to throw the listeners and the viewers a bone here on this opening night of the WNBA. Is there anything you like on that, the women's side of things?
Well, I mean, usually I want to see everybody play once first, but there are a couple things to like tonight. The best game to watch for the day is going to be the Mercury versus the Lynx. Maybe a little bit of like playoff revenge type situation. Lynx aren't going to have their star player and Collier, and they may even be without McBride. And if they are, that might be enough to sway things in Phoenix's favor. So that's one lean for me today. I like the Sparks tonight, -5 versus the Wings. The Wings, if you follow WNBA, you know they had damn near every draft pick in the draft in the first round. It's a really young team, and 2 of the players, well, I'll say like this. The second pick this year, she was playing overseas. Her commitments didn't allow her to make it back and play today. Sabally, same deal for her. She was the second pick last year. She's a great player for their team. She's not going to be out there. And the leading scorer, Arika, she's going to be out there, but she missed majority of training camp. So it's like a really young team who hasn't had a lot of time to even figure things out to start the year. I just think it's going to hinder them in the beginning. And you have a Sparks team who Derek Fisher has been talking about. He's impressed kind of with how they're coming along. They got some new pieces, but they're kind of gelling together pretty good so far in the training camp. So I like that advantage for the Sparks. I think their offense might not be that efficient tonight, but their defense will be enough to cover that spread.
There you go. LA Sparks. Take a look at them against the Dallas Wings, I believe. Yeah. See, I know my WNBA team names there a little bit. Like I check in on it every now and then. I bet it actually sometimes. So I know these team names at least. Players, not so much. I know a few of them, but that's why that's good advice there from Skee. Like maybe look at the Sparks maybe keep an eye on that revenge situation in the Mercury game as well tonight. So good stuff, Skee. WNBA gets going. Follow Skee for WNBA. Obviously, handicaps that year round. It is time for best bets, though. Before we do that, though, as we always do, we pause at this time of the show for a little 30-second message from one of our great Pub Sports Radio sponsors, Manscaped. Manscaped, check them out. Manscaped promo code PubSports, as well as mybookie.ag promo code PubSports, with NHL and NBA playoffs about to begin. MLB daily as well. Great time to check out mybookie.ag. Bitcoin accepted currency for your initial deposit. Check out mybookie.ag promo code PubSports. All right. Best bet, I guess that's the name of the segment at the end of each and every show. I get it, but it might be lukewarm bet, might be mild bet, whatever you want to call it. But nevertheless, whatever the best we've got on the NBA card tonight, we're going to give it to you right now. Conor Mack, actually, we'll start with you tonight for a change. What do you like here for best bet?
I like a few of them. Like I said, I don't do much. Maybe do a parlay or a round robin. I like the Wizards, Utah, Philly, and Dallas first half. But for my best bet, I'll take Philly -8.5. Best bet. Magic are horrible. Seems like every first half they've been blown out by at least 10 points. So give me Philly -8.5. And like I said, this could be one where you could do a few others as well. Kind of put it all together today.
All right, there we go. We've got Philadelphia 76ers in the first half. Best bet for Conor Mack. Skee Prophet, you're next up. Best bet for tonight.
I have one I really like, but I have a feeling you might like it, Ian, so I'm going to leave it for you. And I'll shift my attention to player prop. And I'll mention there's no number for Zubac. If it's 7, I will take it on his rebounds over. But for my best bet, I'll go without Dort. I'm rocking with Baisley. He's gone over 5 out of 6. And no Dort again tonight. So I think he'll be high usage and over 25.5 points, rebounds, assists.
All right, there we go. Darius Baisley. Points, rebounds, and assists over prop for Skee Prophet. His best bet for this Friday card. I'm going to go with the Washington-Cleveland over as my best bet here tonight on the Friday NBA card. 226.5, or actually 225.5 at Bookmaker. So there you go. That's the best number. There's a wide range with that. So keep your eye out on that. But 225.5 for Cleveland, Washington over the total. We'll go with that for my best bet on this Friday card. That'll wrap up this edition of the NBA Closing Time Show, Friday, May 14th. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Next Monday, we'll be back with you at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific for the NBA Closing Time Show. And you know what we'll be doing on Monday's show? We'll be previewing the play-in tournament games. I'm looking forward to that because everybody should be in. Everybody should be playing and accounted for those games. So what a breath of fresh air that's going to be. So I'm looking forward to Monday's show. Play-in tournament will be set to begin on Tuesday. We'll start previewing those games on Monday's show. So join us for that. Skee Prophet, for Conor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday and great weekend. Enjoy the games and good luck. Conor and I are back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, with the MLB Closing Time Show right here on Pub Sports Radio.